Live from New York, this is the Harvey Hour. My name is Stephen Harvey. I'm not joined alongside my dad, Stephen Harvey, for today's episode, but that's okay. We're going to get right into the show. We got a big one packed for the show. We got Knicks Heat. They're down 3-1, not looking too good for the Knicks. The Lakers are dominating the series. They're up 3-1 as well. The Celtics are looking a little bit shaky. The series is tied 2 apiece. And we also have the Suns, who have somehow tied up this series with Denver. We're going to get into all that, but let's start with our first topic of today's show, which is indeed the 76ers and the Boston Celtics, who do play tonight at 7:30. The series is tied up 2-2, and let's get right into it. So, basically, James Harden had a phenomenal game, and Joel Embiid was very, very dominant in this game. Each going off, James Harden had 42 points and nearly a triple-double. Joel Embiid had 34 points with 13 rebounds. And late in the game, it looked like the Celtics were down in the water. They were down in to start the fourth quarter, and really, they were down basically this entire game. And somehow, some way, the Celtics came from looking like a bad team who can't beat the 76ers to then all the way winning and looking like they could actually win this series and beat the Sixers pretty handily. And then it came very, very late in the fourth quarter. And then some controversy arose. Joe Mazzulla, first-time head coach of the Boston Celtics, taking over for Ime Udoka, had a couple of opportunities in the fourth quarter and in overtime to call some timeouts. And he didn't. And this is a thing for Joe Mazzulla. Several times throughout the year, he has had opportunities late in the game to call a timeout, to scheme a play, and instead he let his players play. Now, for this situation, I don't necessarily disagree with that decision. The Celtics are a very, very talented team. At least their top 3 guys, which is Al Horford, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum. Those are your 3 core guys. Marcus Smart, you could also say. But I'm talking about the veterans on the team, the really, really good players. Marcus Smart, I understand he's a veteran, but I think Al Horford, with his more experience in the NBA, they have a lot of experience on that court. I would trust them personally as a head coach. Now, I may not win many games as a head coach for the Boston Celtics. However, I trust the players on my team. I trust Jason Tatum. I trust Jaylen Brown. I trust Marcus Smart. I trust Al Horford to make a play when it mattered. The turning point of this game, and what really sealed this game, was James Harden's late 3. I believe that put them up 1 before chaos ensued late in overtime. Jaylen Brown came over to help guard Joel Embiid down in the paint. I believe we have that here. This is the play. Jaylen Brown at the top of the corner came down to help, I believe it was Jason Tatum, guard Joel Embiid. And James Harden was left wide open for a 3. You're up by 2. You give up a 3 to put it away. And this was Jaylen Brown after the game.
A gamble at the wrong time, and big shot by James Harden, but that's my fault. You know, I take full accountability. Just a bad read.
So right there, Jaylen Brown made a mistake. At least he admitted he made a mistake. That's the first thing. Now, you're up by 2. Generally, if you're up by only 1 or it's tied, that's a fine decision to go help him out in the paint. However, you're up by 2. If Joel Embiid dominates Jason Tatum in the paint and makes that 2-pointer, it's a tie game. Instead, you came down to help, and James Harden hits a 3. That's really what killed you. And the next ensuing possession, which was just abysmal, is just bad scheming. Now, there was an opportunity to actually win this game for the Celtics. There was. I know people are going to say, no, there really wasn't. Yes, there was. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, at the end of that play, because right after that play was basically the game, Jason Tatum, I think, carried the ball up with like 20 seconds left in the game. 17, 18 seconds. They literally took it to the last buzzer to make a play. You took way, way too long. And people are saying, I think they should have called a timeout, scheme something for Jason Tatum, scheme something for Jaylen Brown. Maybe. I'm not going to necessarily disagree with you. However, Marcus Smart, I think we forget, in the fourth quarter, was in a position to actually win the game with a three. Now, he missed it, but there are a couple games where Marcus Smart has tried to hit the game-winning shot. Now, generally, it's usually tied. So Marcus Smart, it's not if you miss it, you lose. However, I have no problem with Marcus Smart attempting that shot. I don't, personally. Now, I want to show this play here. This was the last shot. Jason Tatum drives, kicks it out, a wide open Marcus Smart. I got no problem with that. Zero problem. However, you didn't get it off in time. You took all the way down to 0.4 seconds where Marcus Smart had to, become Superman and try to shoot it. I don't know what they were doing, personally. I don't. But, hey, that's the Celtics. I'm not sure where the Celtics go after this. I really don't. Now, Mazzulla talked about it post-game about the decision, about the call, and Jaylen Brown talked about his role on the team. This is what they each had to say.
Oh, that was the play. We just had to play a little bit more pace. We had the right matchup. Jason got downhill, made the right play at the rim. We just had to play a little bit more pace there, but that was the play. Just make the right read, which I thought he did. We got Maxey in the pick and roll, and he made the right play. We just didn't play fast enough.
I guess I got to demand the ball a little bit more. I thought good things happened when I had it in my hands, but I thought our offense was okay. I thought we chipped away. We made big time shots. We got great looks all game long, and we just came up short in the end.
Yeah, I would say so. Jaylen Brown, I'm going to agree with you here. You need to demand the ball more. In the fourth quarter and overtime, you took 3 shots. And once again, you were the more consistent, reliable shooter for the Celtics, not Jason Tatum. I think talent-wise, Jason Tatum is better than Jaylen Brown. I don't think a lot of people will argue with that, but Jaylen Brown's consistency, I think, makes him a more valuable player. Jason Tatum's peaks are higher. However, you don't get those peaks every single night. Jaylen Brown will give you consistently about 25 points and about 5 assists a game. Consistency, I think, is clearly being shown. At least last year in the playoffs, I think we saw it as clear as day. Jason Tatum would shoot pretty poorly, like he did in this game. 1-6 from 3, 9-20 from the floor, almost 50%, but not quite. Meanwhile, Jaylen Brown shot 10 of 16, 3 of 8 from 3. It's just peaks and valleys for Jason Tatum. Now, the peaks are high, and the valleys are not, god-awful. I mean, we see some terrible games. He shot 1 of 10 from 3 not too long ago. But last year in the playoffs, it was, okay, here's Jason Tatum going matching point per point with Giannis to actually win that Game 6. And then he doesn't show up in Game 7, and it's left up to Grant Williams to push the Celtics past the Bucks in that Game 7. I'm not going to fear for the Celtics' chances in this series. I do think they win in 6. I think I have it in 7, but I do think the Celtics could win in 6. It took 2 vintage MVP-level James Harden performances to have the Sixers win. James Harden needed to go back 5 years, pull something out of the bag from 5 years ago, and put that on display in order for the 76ers to win. I think with a little bit of consistency from Jason Tatum, they win the next 2 games, one of which is tonight, which I have Boston winning at home. I will say this about the last play. If I were to call a timeout, personally, and I had my preference on who I want out there, I would have Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, Derek White probably, and instead of Marcus Smart, I would put in Malcolm Brogdon. The better shooter, but once again, I have no problem with Marcus Smart taking that shot. He's taken plenty of them. But in this game, if I were to call a timeout, I would put in Malcolm Brogdon. who I said from the very beginning of this trade, this is going to be a phenomenal acquisition for the Boston Celtics. And was it yesterday or the day before? He went 6 of 13, 5 of 8 from 3, 8 rebounds. More than you want from your sixth man, who I thought honestly could have made the starting lineup if Derek White didn't have like a career year this year. He was in the starting lineup a couple times, but he was delegated to sixth man and did win sixth man of the year. Malcolm Brogdon, I had no problem with him being on the bench because I think Marcus Smart can hit those shots, and he did if he just had a little bit more time. However, if I were to call a timeout, I would put in Malcolm Brogdon over Marcus Smart just due to this game's performance. Let's get into our next topic. So, the Suns have somehow tied up the series. I don't fully understand how exactly the Suns are able to just come back after looking absolutely decimated the first 2 games of the series. However, it's very, very funny how only 2 guys are able to absolutely just take over a basketball game and win it for their team. Those 2 players are obviously Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, who the past 2 games have been absolutely phenomenal because the team has just been atrocious. Now, this game, it was a little bit better, with Landry Shamet actually stepping up off the bench, scoring 19 points, which was obviously crucial in this game. They won by 5. But Devin Booker shooting 14 of 18, and KD shooting 11 of 19, scoring 36 points each. KD just had a great game. 11 rebounds, 6 assists. Devin Booker had 36 points, 12 assists, and 6 rebounds. I mean, we saw it in Game 3. Like, the fact that the Suns won that game blew my mind. Because literally, I'm pretty sure it was like Devin Booker scoring nearly 50 and KD scoring nearly 40. And the next highest guy, I think, was like Cam Payne and I think Terrence Ross. Maybe I could be wrong, but I know I believe it was at least Cameron Payne, who had 7 points. And the Suns won that game. In this game, you had 3 Nuggets in double digits, along with Nikola Jokic dropping 53 points and 11 assists, which that's phenomenal. You had Jamal Murray, who had a pretty good game, 13 of 25. She scored 28 points along with 7 assists. You actually had 4 Denver Nuggets in double digits. You only had 3 in double digits for the Phoenix Suns. My question is, who the hell is guarding Devin Booker? Whoever he is, I'm sorry, you may need to get benched. I don't understand this game plan, right? I saw this game. They're not doing a lot of double teams. Devin Booker's getting open shots. What are you doing? And yet Nikola Jokic, we saw him on the bench. He's saying, they got 2 guys. What are we doing? We can't guard 2 guys? No, apparently not. Because you're getting cooked, absolutely cooked by these 2 guys. Now, KD, we know, arguably the most efficient shooter in NBA history. Devin Booker having a playoff career year. I mean, he's averaging, well over 30 points a game. Devin Booker's having an insane series, insane playoff run. Now, the Nuggets, how sustainable is this having Jokic come in here, drop 53, and you somehow still lose? Now, Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. are not great players. Aaron Gordon's the worst of the 2. They need to step up. Jamal Murray has had a pretty good playoff run. You got KCP as one of your other starters. The Nuggets bench is not bad. It's not bad. Bruce Brown puts in solid minutes. Jeff Green, he's all right, not great. Reggie Jackson, I don't know why. Is he hurt? Let's see if he's hurt. No, I don't understand why. I mean, Reggie Jackson, he was on the Clippers? He was a starter for the Clippers. Now he's not even a bench player for you. He's not even getting any playing time. Like, the Suns, we knew late in the year, starting early playoffs in that first series with the Clippers, they are very, very, very top-heavy. Because they had DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker. Now, DeAndre Ayton has been, can I say bad? Is bad even the right word? And Chris Paul is out. Chris Paul is hurt and is expected to be, I believe, in Game 5 or Game 6. So he's not. He may play tonight, but it doesn't matter apparently because KD and Devin Booker are getting it done somehow. Because once again, I mean, yes, in this game Landry Shamet stepped up, but in Game 3, it was the KD and Booker show. I mean, truthfully, I was shocked. I mean, Devin Booker is cooking you, and you don't really do much to slow down the process. KD has started off a number of these games shooting very poorly, but then late in the game has gotten into a rhythm. And in this game, he wasn't really down and out. He was kind of just being normal KD. I mean, I picked the Suns in 6, I believe. So the Suns doing this is like go team, but I'm shocked because the first 2 games, the Nuggets showed they were the number 1 seed. They were very, very dominant against a team that on paper is tremendously talented with Ayton, with Chris Paul, with Devin Booker, with Kevin Durant. And then the Suns go back home. Now, I could definitely see this turning out to be a scenario where this is a home game. Every single home team wins. Now, that would mean it goes to a Game 7, Nuggets win 7. However, we're going to need to see tonight. If the Suns came out with the same poise, or I guess I should say, if KD and Booker come out with the same poise, I could definitely see the Suns late in the game pulling away and winning on the road. But we're going to have to see. I don't trust the Suns because of the first 2 games, especially in Denver, but obviously we will have to see. But based on how Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are playing right now, I'm going to have to give it to the Suns win Game 5 and upset the Nuggets at home. Unless Jamal Murray goes off and Jokic is just his basic old Jokic, gives you a triple-double or damn well near it. I mean, I got to go with the Suns. The Suns shocked me. The Suns shocked me. The pin was all the way, oh, Suns are screwed, to now it's flipped over, oh, Suns are going to crush. Now, I don't know if that's smart or not. But I will say this. What Kevin Durant and Devin Booker have done so far in this past 2 games has been shocking. And the fact that, the Suns are barely scoring 10 points outside of KD and Devin Booker, and the Suns are still able to win these types of games, I don't get it. It's either the Nuggets are just trash on defense, which Jokic, my argument between Embiid and Jokic was Jokic doesn't play great defense compared to Embiid. Now, this team needs to obviously cover Devin Booker. Will they double Booker now? They should. Will they do it all game? Because I saw late in the game, in Game 4, there were times where Devin Booker was single covered. Like, what are you doing? So we'll see. Game 5 tonight, I believe at 10. What's the other game? The 76ers Celtics series is at 7:30 on TNT. Nuggets game is right after that. So we will see. I will pick the Suns to win this game, upset, finish out the series, and win in 6. I believe that was actually my pick. Let's get into our second to last topic. Last night, the Lakers have taken a 3-1 series lead over the defending champions. And this game was very telling of what is to come. Once again, the Golden State Warriors have choked on the road. The Warriors, they were in a good position to win this game. However, they keep relying on the 3-ball. Now, they shot it better than the Lakers because the Lakers are a horrible 3-point shooting team. But I will say this. The Warriors, for a large part of the past 3-4 years, since Klay got hurt, Draymond Green's dealt with injuries, and a number of other Warriors players have dealt with injuries, it has always been up to Steph Curry to pick up where the Warriors have left off. And throughout this entire playoff run, we've seen it. We've seen where Steph Curry has needed to step up and carry his team to victory. He did it a couple times in the Suns series. Or I'm sorry, in the Kings series. And last night, the Warriors were actually a detriment to what Steph Curry was trying to do. Klay Thompson had a terrible game. 6 turnovers. I'm sorry. One time I was talking about. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about. Was it game 3? Klay Thompson a bunch of turnovers. Klay Thompson did not shoot the ball very well. 3 of 11, 9 points. It was bad. Now Jordan Poole was over. He played 10 minutes, shot 0 of 4 from the floor, 0 of 2 from 3. Was a -6. This is supposed to be the future. It's Jordan Poole, Moses Moody. I guess now they have Dante DiVincenzo. He'll be a part of that future, maybe. Jonathan Kuminga and Anthony Lamb. That sort of group of players is the future. And Jordan Poole having a bad playoff series does not bode well. Now, the Warriors need something. Klay Thompson is not the defender he once was. He can't lock down 2s and 3s like he once could. Draymond Green and Kevon Looney, at least Kevon Looney in the first series, was great on the rebounds. It was pretty good defensively against Sabonis. Draymond Green, we all know, offensive catalyst. He initiates the offense. He's great defensively. He can guard positions 1 to 5. However, when he gets the ball in his hands and is forced to shoot, he's not that great. I would call him an offensive liability. The Warriors are too Steph Curry dependent. Steph Curry scored 31 points. He had 14 assists, and he had 10 rebounds. A triple-double. Something we don't see a lot from Steph Curry. And the Warriors couldn't get it done. The Warriors in the fourth quarter had an opportunity to win. And they fell apart. Again. On the road. I have the Warriors in 6. I just want to put that out there. I don't feel good about my chances. First of all, it can't even be in 6 anymore. Just the fact that the Warriors, I have them at least winning the series, I don't love my pick at all right now. Because the Lakers, Anthony Davis, shockingly, had 2 back-to-back pretty good performances. 23 points, 15 rebounds. LeBron James, 27 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, around a triple-double, was great. But in the fourth quarter, it was no other than Lonnie Walker IV who came in clutch. The Warriors could not guard Lonnie Walker IV in the fourth quarter. An absolute dismantling of the Warriors. And LeBron James right now is in a position, because I don't think the Warriors are going to go back here and make a deep playoff run, especially with the moves they probably need to make to, if they want to stick with the core guys of Draymond, Steph, and Klay, which I don't know if that's a great idea. I can understand why. If they want to stick with that core, I mean, is Jordan Poole your guy? He's had a bad playoff series. Moses Moody isn't the player you were hoping he would be. You're not even playing Jonathan Kuminga, which baffles me. He's the most athletic player, arguably, on the team. Gary Payton is getting some crucial minutes here, and he had a really, really good game, actually. Andrew Wiggins, coming off of like late in the year where he didn't play since February, coming into this. He started off with the Kings series you start off okay. Not, Andrew Wiggins, 20 points, 10 rebounds like he did in last year's postseason. This game, not great. Not great. Draymond Green, once again, offensive liability. He's triple single. The Warriors are too Steph Curry reliant. Now, I would move 2 players, one of 2 players. I would move Jordan Poole if you're going to keep Draymond, or I would move Draymond if you want to keep Jordan Poole. Because that rift at the beginning of the year, I think, definitely fractured the difference between the veterans and the younger players. And we saw it literally in this postseason. Draymond Green wanted to step up to Jordan Poole and talk to him. Poole blew him off on the bench. We're seeing it here. One of 2 players is going to go. Jordan Poole got paid by the Warriors, signed a big contract. Draymond Green is asking for like a max deal. You have one guy signed. The other one wants to get paid top dollar. Who do you want to give up? Who do you want to get rid of? Now, Draymond Green, you obviously can't trade him because this is last year of his contract. He's asking for a big extension. Jordan Poole, I believe, still has some value. So if you want to get something in return, you would have to probably give out Jordan Poole. And I have no problem with that. Because I think Steve Kerr is very, very, very reliable when it comes to keeping his core together. I think he believes in this core. I honestly think he still sees a future with this core. Because Curry, it doesn't look like he's slowed down. Klay Thompson, he arguably had one of his best years in a while. Now, defensively, he obviously isn't the same, but offensively, he shot the ball pretty well this year. And Draymond Green is the normal Draymond Green. Pushes the ball up the court, can defend 1 to 5, is a leader, at least vocally, in the locker room, makes you accountable. I think Steve Kerr appreciates that. So I could definitely see this core sticking together. Jordan Poole gets moved off. Now, I don't think that's a popular decision because I think a lot of and I could be wrong, I think a lot of Warriors fans were probably thinking, oh, Jordan Poole is a phenomenal three-point shooter. He's the next Splash Brother. On and on and on and on. He's young. But he hasn't shown up when you need him to. And there's a rift. Jordan Poole doesn't look like he even wants to be there anymore. Look at the bench once again. Draymond Green wants to talk to Jordan Poole about his performance in the game at that point, and Jordan Poole brushed him off. So expect Jordan Poole to actually get moved in this offseason. I would not be surprised. Maybe Andrew Wiggins does. Who knows? I think Andrew Wiggins is actually a really, really good piece for this Warriors team. He's a great wing defender. He could shoot pretty well. Believes in the Warriors system. Jordan Poole, a little bit less of a mature player. Likes to shoot threes. Trying to be that third Splash Brother. We'll see. We will see who gets moved. I do think there will be moves made, but we will see who exactly gets moved. And let's get into our last topic. Lo and behold, my New York Knicks, the team that I picked to win this series, have fallen to a 3-1 deficit. It does not look good. It does not look good. In fact, it looks pretty grim. Now, I will be at Game 5, so I may witness the Knicks being eliminated from the playoffs. And you know what? The way it looks like right now, it looks like that will happen. I don't understand why people are, saying, oh, the Knicks almost lost to G Leaguers. There's been some pretty good players that have come out of the G League. Pascal Siakam, pretty sure he made an all-star team. He came out of the G League. Pretty sure Jordan Poole came out of the G League. Like, there are players that have been in the G League that have been great NBA players. Now, they don't get the big name recognition that, the stars and all-stars and superstars of the NBA do. However, can Gabe Vincent and Max Strus and Caleb Martin, can they shoot very well? Yeah, they can. And they do. Especially from three. The Heat are a terrible rebounding team. I believe, if I looked at the stat correctly, they're 27th in total rebounds. The Knicks are number 3. So if you look at it, actually, they're nearly polar opposites. The Knicks in this game had bricks for hands. They could not get a single rebound. And Julius Randle said maybe they wanted it more. It looked like it. They put in more effort. They are the more intelligent team. They don't play, honestly, they don't play better defense than the Knicks. They just want it way more than the Knicks do. The Knicks, honestly, in this series have played dumb basketball. You have RJ Barrett solo driving to the hoop, not really figuring out what he's going to do with it. He's in between trying to drive for a layup and trying to kick it out. Quentin Grimes, same thing. Driving with no real destination in mind if he's going to shoot it or pass it. Julius Randle, not a great game from him. He did score 20 points, so I will give him that. Mitchell Robinson, I don't know what to do with him. He's sort of like the Kevon Looney. Could rebound, but offensively, he's not really there. And once again, I think he's slow. Again, like I said, he easily gets beat by Bam Adebayo. Easily. A lot of times, I mean, Bam had a great game. 23 points, 13 rebounds, 10 of 17. A lot of those makes were against Mitchell Robinson or blowing by Mitchell Robinson. Jalen Brunson, not a great shooting performance for him. Most of his points actually came, or at least a third of his points came from free throws. He shot 2 of 7 from 3. This team relies on the 3 more than I would like. Now, throughout this entire playoffs, it's been how well can the Knicks shoot the ball? And when they shot it, at least respectfully, they've made it somewhat competitive. Now, I said with 10 minutes remaining in this game's over. Because the Celtics, the Knicks were, I believe, down by 8 or 10. Like early in the fourth quarter. I think like 10 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, they were losing by about 8 or 10. And I said this game's over. And I was like, what are you I got like because I was talking to some of my friends. What are you talking about? This game's over. There's 10 minutes remaining in the game. I said the Knicks will not get within 4. Lo and behold, I don't think they got within 6. The rest of the fourth quarter. Because what the Knicks were doing, they would make a shot and give up another basket right on the other end. Or the Heat would clamp down on Jalen Brunson. By the way, Gabe Vincent, phenomenal defensive performance. Gabe Vincent, if you want to learn how to do press, if you're doing like intramurals or youth league or whatever, and you want to learn how to do an effective press, or at least press the ball handler coming up the court, this game right here with Gabe Vincent's a perfect example of that. Gabe Vincent played great defense in this game. Had a couple of steals, and from when Jalen Brunson got the ball from the inbounds, Gabe Vincent was locked onto him and really bothered Jalen Brunson when he was just trying to get up the court. So I will give it 100% to the Heat. The Knicks were not ready to play. But what's the future? Because I think, honestly, I'm probably going to witness the elimination game. The Knicks do not look ready to play. Tom Thibodeau, again, I don't understand this whatsoever. I think the Knicks had 2 timeouts remaining. I believe it was like the middle of the third quarter. The Heat have used 1 timeout since then. And the Knicks had 2 remaining. I don't understand that whatsoever. Now, it was different than in Game 1. Game 1, the Knicks were up by double digits, and Tom Thibodeau was burning timeouts, which blew my mind. Then you had 1 timeout with 6.5 minutes remaining in the entire game. This one, you were down, but you never really forced Miami to call a timeout. They called 1 timeout, and you had 2 left. I don't understand it personally. Hartenstein didn't do a great job rebounding. Also didn't get a tremendous amount of playing time. Obi Toppin got nearly 0 playing time and put up 4 points. About the same as Mitchell Robinson. And it was about half of what Quentin Grimes gave you. Obi Toppin got 5 minutes in this game. Quentin Grimes got 41. Obi Toppin had 4 points. Quentin Grimes had 9. If you're going to say Quentin Grimes is in there for defensive purposes, it didn't really look like he did much. The Heat were still dominant, and the Knicks couldn't get a rebound. The Knicks had bricks for hands. Mitchell Robinson, he could not get a rebound. Now, he ended the game with 7 rebounds. However, he probably could have had 7 more. Truthfully. There were opportunities where Mitchell Robinson was there, ready to get the rebound, and just couldn't bring it down. Because it would bounce off his hands, or he would hold on to it, and then he would just tap it, and then the ball would fall out of his arms. So what's the future for the Knicks? What can the Knicks do to improve on a better year than they had the past 3? People are saying trade Julius Randle. I don't think you need to trade Julius Randle at all. Now, an unpopular opinion, at least probably for most New York fans, but I think honestly it would be a huge upgrade, is trade RJ Barrett. And I'm sure you're going to trade probably other players as well. But RJ Barrett would be the star piece. Trade him for a potential free agent in Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown has been a great number 2 for the Celtics, and honestly could be a number 1 on, I would say, most teams. But to bring him in, he's got size. He's a guard forward, sort of same, I would say, as RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett has played shooting guard before, but he's mainly a small forward, same as Jaylen Brown. You bring him in, he's a great number 2, could be a number 1, and gives you a consistent scoring option. Consistent. That's what the Knicks need. They are inconsistent. Julius Randle could maybe drop 5 threes one game. Jalen Brunson would drop 6 threes in one game. And then they would follow it up with 0 of 6, 1 of 7, 2 of 3, sometimes. Barely shoot the ball from 3 because they're scared. That would be my opinion. Don't get rid of Julius Randle. You need size. You need someone you need someone big and skilled. And Julius Randle gives you that. And this year, he had a more consistent year. Now, it was very reminiscent of the prior year, of last year. Julius Randle had these types of games in the regular season. However, they were less, I would say, frequent. This season, he was way more consistent with these, 20, 30-point games, 10, 15 rebound games. I would not trade Julius Randle. Because then you would be left with Mitchell Robinson, who's an offensive liability, and Hartenstein as your 2 bigs. And I believe Obi Toppin is nearing a contract year, or this is a contract year. Truthfully, I love Obi Toppin. I don't think the Knicks value him that much. I mean, once again, he nearly scored as many points in 1/8 the minutes as Quentin Grimes. And you only played him for 5 minutes in this game, barely outplaying Miles McBride. I think that's just disrespectful. Now, I understand Obi Toppin is not the same defender. However, your size got you cooked a lot of this time, and the Knicks on rotations was abysmal. The Knicks' defensive rotations are terrible. Their transition offense and defense is maybe even worse. Once again, we saw a Kevin Love outlet pass that led to points. The awareness of the Knicks on these shots, they just stare at the ball when it's up. Meanwhile, I guess Jimmy Butler or Caleb Martin or whoever is running down the opposite side of the court, and Kevin Love hits him up with an absolute dime of a pass, and they score. The Knicks had an opportunity to win this series a little and also win this game, and they just couldn't get it done. My next move for the Knicks would not be to trade Julius Randle. You need a big man who is skilled. Get a more reliable number 2. Jaylen Brown, if you look at the word consistency, consistently good to consistently great, that would be Jaylen Brown. He doesn't look like he wants to be in Boston anymore. He doesn't appreciate the fan base. He has a problem with the fan base. It looks like he's out. Trade RJ Barrett or trade him away to get up Jaylen Brown. That is my opinion on what the Knicks should do moving forward. All right, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Harvey Hour. I appreciate anyone who tuned into this episode. I'm not going to do my Harvey Hour fired up tomorrow. I will be at the Knicks game. However, I will be back on Friday. Me and my dad will be back on Friday to do the schedule's coming out Thursday. We're going to react to that. The Patriots at the moment are projected to win 7.5 games. We're going to talk about that, whether or not they're over or underrated. We'll react to probably most of the schedule as well. More NBA basketball, playoff basketball. We'll react because this series may be done on Wednesday. The Nuggets series is still going on. The Celtics series is still going on. The Warriors-Lakers series could be done by Friday. We will have to see. But for this episode of the Harvey Hour, my name is Stephen Harvey. I appreciate anyone who tuned in. Like I said, Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. I will see you then.